Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 3,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 100 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
The following advertisement is sponsored by Beercade YEG.
Hello. You are listening to a commercial for the podcast Over the Top Rope,
the flagship podcast of the Win Column Sports Network,
as well as a proud member of Backbreaker Media.
Again, this podcast is sponsored by Beercade YEG.
You can find us pretty well anywhere that podcasts are played, including on the iTunes,
Podbean,
the Google Play,
SoundCloud,
and on wincolumnsports.ca for all your previews,
reviews,
and breaking news from the world of professional wrestling. Tune in every Friday on Backbreaker Media, a member of Win Column Sports.
This is your main man RJ from the Ringside Rant, heard only on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. So go over and subscribe across all your major platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher to hear every great interview I have every Monday on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. Go over and follow the show's page on Twitter @_Ringside Rant. Follow the network's page @BizWrestleNet. And, as always, embrace the vision.
If you like podcasts and you are listening to them on Backbreaker Media, then you should listen to me, Chris Parrish,
and myself, Mania,
and the Sounds of Struggle. Because we are literally the most entertaining duo you'll ever come across in Western Canadian wrestling, baby.
We talk about things like wrestling
and other sports we like.
Like wrestling.
But we won't talk about other sports that we don't like because it's not that kind of podcast.
Like wrestling.
I mean, we like hockey.
And wrestling.
And we like football.
And wrestling.
And we also like to drink beer.
While wrestling.
Well, not while wrestling, but while watching wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to get into a conversation with Maniac and Chris Parrish, then you need to tune into the Sounds of Struggle live on Backbreaker Media.
Every Thursday.
It's when we hope to drop, but sometimes Mike Malawany doesn't do his job right.
Or we're too drunk to forget.
Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah.
He can bleep out the swear word because we weren't supposed to do that.
Oh, but I'll try not to swear. I can't do it.
Yeah. Let's face it, the two of us, we're real.
And spectacular.
And we're a little bit of all right.
Yeah.
We're also Strugglicious.
That we are.
That was kind of the key. We're supposed to be a Strugglicious.
Oh, sorry, I'm drunk.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to listen to us, then no. You're stupid because we're entertaining. And if you want to listen to us, then, come listen to us on Backbreaker Media.
Yeah. What he said.
Later, bitches.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of Total Nonstop Anarchy. I am your co-host, Andre C., and joining me this week, as he does every week, my co-host, the Danimal Daniel Jobber. How you doing, brother?
Great. What's up, everybody? Danimal Daniel Jobber's in the house with you tonight.
Yeah, and we actually have another man on the line here talking to us this week who watched this abortion of a show with us, and that is my good buddy, ring announcer extraordinaire, the host of Monday Night Shaw, Kyle Shaw. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I don't know how to top Danimal Jobber is in the house. That's
What?
You're okie dokie. That's what you got to do.
okie dokie, folks. Are you ready to talk about some TNA wrestling here? This is like all job matches, except for there was a couple of main matches on here, but I mean nothing to write home about.
No, this wasn't one of the great ones that we've watched. I've watched a few really good ones, but they're like the last one and this one have not been awesome.
I like the storytelling aspect of this one, though.
Yeah, like there's some fun stuff on this show, and a memory I think a lot of fans forget about. But yeah, not a great pay-per-view this week.
The wrestling quality was a little bit down through a lot of the matches.
Yeah, I mean Slash versus Sonny Siaki. Woohoo! Star power out the wazoo.
Apollo versus Malice. Wow.
That was
some chick
terrible.
Some guy. Woo!
This was not a good episode.
Oh, remember the match between a man and a woman?
Some chick versus some guy.
Bruce versus Taylor Vaughn. Man, that was garbage. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this week we are reviewing the NWA-TNA Weekly Pay-Per-View number 7 from the Nashville Fairgrounds Coliseum in Nashville, Tennessee on July 31st, 2002. There are 2 dark matches this week. There's Matt Striker. I'm pretty sure it's the Matt Striker. We all know who he is.
Is it? No, I bet you it's Unibrow Matt Striker.
Oh, yeah, because this is Matt Striker with the Y.
He was more popular, like, in Ring of Honor and stuff, back in that time period.
Yeah, and he beat B.J. Whitmer. I think
how did you watch the dark matches?
I just found, after I watched the pay-per-view, I went and found somebody's write-up, and they said these two happened before.
Oh, okay, so you didn't actually watch this on video.
No.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, I would be down to watch a Matt Striker B.J. Whitmer match. That sounds like it would have been one of the better matches on this card.
We're always kept in the dark, though.
Yeah. And then NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion Jimmy Rave pins Shark Boy.
Oh, sweet. I love Shark Boy. Shark Boy is awesome.
Everybody. I loved it when he went 316, did the Stone Cold gimmick.
Right, yeah, no, Shark Boy is the man.
But just not with Lava Girl, though. Kyle, do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's a Robert Rodriguez movie where it was called Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Okay, you do.
But Shark Boy actually owned the rights to the name Shark Boy, so he sued the shit out of the Robert Rodriguez movie and got a lot of money.
Nice. That's actually, I did not know that. That's awesome.
That's true.
Hey, Kyle, thanks. Yeah, man. Fuck, you know everything.
Are you sure, Shaw?
Also, another little bit of TNA history regarding Shark Boy is he is also known as Dean Baldwin in TNA.
Really? I've never heard of Dean Baldwin.
Oh, well, wait, because if you haven't seen the Dean Baldwin stuff yet, you will. It's not
I'm
good.
looking forward to it.
It's him without a mask, and he hosts like a talk show similar to what Disco Inferno does on this.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Oh, I couldn't stand that. I will shit on that when that comes up. So the pay-per-view comes in.
He pretends he's one of the Baldwin brothers, like Alec Baldwin. And,
no.
Yeah. Yes, that's the gimmick. He's from Hollywood. He's a Baldwin.
That is garbage.
It's fun. Whatever. It's not genius or anything, but he looks legit like one of them, though. Like, he legit looks like he could be related. Without the mask on. Yeah.
He kind of does with the mask on, too.
I know a thing or two about Shark Boy. I don't know why.
Shark Boy's biggest fan here, Kyle Shark Boy Shaw.
I do. I like Shark Boy. I know that my good pal, the Canadian Goose, has modeled a lot of his gimmick around Shark Boy.
I'm sorry that made me legit laugh.
I'm not kidding you. If you ask the Canadian Goose, he'll tell you that one of his inspirations is Shark Boy.
Please tell me that the Canadian Goose will eventually be Canadian Goose 780.
Canadian Goose 316 shirts have been pitched.
No, 780, because you're in Alberta.
All right, let's just move on from the Canadian Goose and Shark Boy.
I never want to move on from the Canadian Goose.
But yeah, no flashbacks this week to start the show. It's great.
We actually got an opening video, unlike last week. The video, the music started playing, but it showed the ring.
I really like the and then just boom, and then you're like TNA. That brings back a lot of nostalgia for me. Like, I remember ordering these pay-per-views back in 2002, watching them.
So you watched this shit at the beginning?
Not quite this early.
You watched it when it really turned to shit in early 2003?
I remember seeing, I think, no, I was before that for sure. I think Ted Hart was in a tournament. It was like an X Division tournament. He wrestled against Juventud Guerrero.
That's 2003, I think. Dude.
Okay, I definitely watched that one, but there might have been an earlier one where I think it was Jerry Lynn wrestled against the Spanish announce team. No, that's the name of the team, the Spanish announce team. They were like homeboys with Amazing Red. They did the Spanish fly off the top rope. That was their finish.
I have to make note of this for when that stuff comes up. You have to be on that show.
I believe that was the first one I watched, was Jerry Lynn versus the Spanish announce team in a triple threat match. I couldn't tell you what the other matches on the card were. I know Ron and Don Harris were all over that shit. Jeff Jarrett was all over it too, for sure. Yeah, but
Amazing Red's from Puerto Rico.
Well, he was teaming up with
my arse.
Well, it's Jose Maximo and Joel Maximo. Joel.
Are you talking about the Heart? No, it's not the Heartthrobs. Were they the? No, it's not the Heartthrobs, is it?
These guys are fucking legit, man. If you haven't seen them wrestle yet on TNA, just wait. They're awesome.
I'm looking forward to them very much.
No, they are like X Division tag team specialists.
I literally just wrote in my notes, bring Kyle back for Jerry Lynn versus the Spanish announce team.
Yeah.
I know it sounds stupid. I don't know why they're called the Spanish announce team. They might be called the Maximo brothers, but
I don't think that TNA actually has a Spanish announce team. So it's very possible that's a joke that they don't, because they don't have Spanish announce team at this point.
Yeah, that's their protest.
Well, that's what they were that in Ring of Honor and stuff too.
No, but wow. I look forward to it.
I was a huge fan of all this stuff back in that day, so I know a thing or two about a few of these weird guys. Actually, not many that are on this show, but a few. And
I love you, man. So I'm glad to have you, because I have to look a lot of this stuff up myself.
The SATs, the SATs is that team of the Maximo brothers and Amazing Red. Wow. And I know Amazing Red was introduced recently. Was it not last week that you guys saw Amazing Red make his debut?
Yeah, last week.
And he's absolutely fantastic. When I went to wrestling shows, if I saw that Amazing Red was listed on the videotape, I'd be like, oh sweet, I gotta get this one.
Oh, he's the legit, one of the best guys on the roster at this point. And becomes
the last name of Figueroa, you betcha.
Yeah.
Follow is Figueroa as well, but probably different family or different.
Yeah. So the pay-per-view, let's get back to the pay-per-view, and it kicks off. Mike Tenay welcomes everybody in, talks about it, and they start us off with an X Division Championship match. It is Elix Skipper taking on the X Division Champion AJ Styles with his I guess now they're partner, and I guess they're friends again, Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, and I noticed, like, right off the bat that there was a third commentator, because I was expecting Mike Tenay and Don West, and then I was like, wow, we are 7 episodes in, and Ed Ferrara is still there.
Yeah,
he still looks like an absolute, like, goofball. Like, why is he dressed this way? Why is he wearing his hair like that? Like,
he looks like a scumbag.
He looks like a pimp. He looks like a pimp, let's face it.
Scumbag.
Yeah, no, he looks like a trailer park pimp, like a Kid Rock type, like...
Drug dealer, I don't know.
He is definitely making the arrangements for the girls in cages that dance.
Jerry Lawler.
Oh my God, I love you, Kyle.
That's why we're glad to have you, man.
Yeah, by the way, it's very nice to speak with you, Danimal. I think we met one time maybe at the Ripper Royal for MPW, but if you were not there, then it wasn't you. But I don't know if we've actually met in real life, but it's a pleasure, my friend.
Great to meet you.
Okay, so it's an X Division Championship match. Jerry Lynn. So we got a 4-man commentary booth with Jerry Lynn on commentary, and half the time you can't even hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I struggled to hear most of the commentary on this.
Well, not like you can hear the regular 3, but for some reason Lynn's mic keeps cutting out on them for some reason.
Well,
I love his accent though. Like he's clearly got a Minnesota accent.
Oh yeah. Danimal?
I don't know.
Jerry Lynn, like I half expected him to say like, "Ooh, he just hit a big move there, don't you know?"
He's too close to Canadian, eh?
Yeah, pretty much, I'd say. All right, so so Elix hits him from behind, and as AJ's posing with the belt, and then as he's brawling, he ducks a clothesline, I think, and then hits him with a beautiful roundhouse. Like this is a match of 2 guys.
Oh yeah, AJ's kicks in this match were on point. I was like, wow, he doesn't throw a whole lot of kicks anymore, but he did some pretty sweet kicking in this match.
Yeah, stomping the guy's chest and bouncing off. That was cool. I don't know what that
Oh
was.
yeah, the one where he whipped Elix into the corner and he ran at him, did a drop kick off his chest, backflipped in midair, and landed on his feet was. Oh my God.
That was sick, man. That was very sick.
And the best part, like he did that move, he gets down and pins Elix, but when Elix kicks out, he didn't kick out regularly off of that drop kick. He matrixed up out of the pin. Like you know how like he does that move where he goes backwards and back up?
Yeah.
He did it right from the ground up. This guy is like Elix Skipper. Like you can't even spot. Like he's got some really good looking moves in this match on top of.
Very athletic,
he's very athletic. I can't speak to like, you know, what his microphone skills were like. He was wrestling super fast. He was really skilled though, but like I just don't like. He just seems like a really athletic jabroni guy.
He's ready for prime time.
I don't think so, man. Like, I'm not trying to shit on him. I actually heard that he actually like retired from wrestling because his I think something horrible happened to one of his children. Like they died in some sort of a car accident or they were murdered or something, and now he's like retired from wrestling and like manages a McDonald's according to Squig.
I wouldn't trust Squig.
But he's not around anymore. Like you don't hear.
He is not. No, I agree with you on that one.
Like, and it's a shame because he's not bad. Like, as far as like executing maneuvers go, like he's really good. Like,
and over like 2003 and early 2004, he'd have a really good run with Daniels and Loki as Triple X.
Oh, remember when he hit the dragon suplex on AJ in this match?
I was literally about to bring that up. That dragon suplex looked sick.
It was disgusting. Yeah. And yeah, like you were saying, he was with Christopher Daniels and Loki as Sports Entertainment Extreme and Triple X.
They were Triple X as part of Sports Entertainment Extreme.
Yeah, Sports Entertainment Extreme was definitely a big part of the first TNA podcast or pay-per-view that I ever watched. I remember Vince Russo was on it, and I was actually like a kind of a Vince Russo mark at that time. I was like, oh, this guy's like the fucking homeboy behind wrestling, and I've been hearing that TNA lets him like cuss and stuff, so I was kind of a fan of Vince Russo at that point. But, you know, looking back now, like, it's like, oh yeah, no, a lot of this is just terrible ideas too.
No, dude, so I don't think Vince Russo's... Oh, go ahead, Danimal.
I was going to say, big stable anyways. I mean, that was one of the histories of wrestling, is these great stables, so I mean, why not?
Yeah, he was known
for it.
Yeah. There's one thing, the spot where he gets AJ to the outside, and then he axe kicks him on the apron.
Axe kicks to the head, yes.
Yeah, it looked really good, because, like, AJ sold that perfectly. Like, he, like, literally got his head chopped off. He just went limp and just rolled off the apron.
I said it looked vicious. It was nice.
It looked beautiful. And there's another spot where Elix actually gets him in and hits like a butterfly or like double underhook suplex, but then rolls through and hooks on like a butterfly lock.
Yeah, a pin combination. That was gorgeous.
Like he had the pin, but then he switched it into the submission. Like, I thought it looked great.
Yeah, it was pretty. That was some good stuff at that point.
Yeah. The finish came though. Elix Skipper goes to jump up on this third rope. Like, literally, the guy's got a huge leap to jump right from the ring apron and jumps up onto the middle rope. But Styles takes his feet out. He comes crashing down, and Styles.
Yeah, that was nasty too. It looked really rough.
Like, he came down hard. Did not look pretty. And then AJ goes up, hits the spiral tap, and gets the 3 count. And your winner and still X Division champion, AJ Styles.
13 minutes time, not a bad match. Although I wasn't as excited as some of the other matches I've seen AJ in the X Division do, but...
Yeah, I wasn't as hyped for this one, but I guess going up against guys like Loki, Daniels and stuff, I don't know, it's just... He's had better so far.
Nowhere near as good as the actual wrestling in the Loki.
Well, that's one of the things, like I was saying, like, Elix Skipper, like, I'm not trying to shit on him, but he's not at the level of Christopher Daniels or Elix Skipper, or Loki.
Oh yeah, but I'll say this for Skipper: he would go on to have his big moments and be that much better. I think he was better hidden or not hidden, but like being a two-man team, I think, worked a lot better for him.
Yeah, his just doesn't have the personality to make people care.
Not yet.
No offense to him. Like, I'm not. No. He's amazing. Like, he does all these crazy, flashy moves, but I've never once seen him with a microphone in his hand.
Yeah, but like, he hasn't been given that opportunity quite yet.
Well,
yeah,
and there's probably a reason for it.
I think down the road he got
I'm
some
coming across really negative, and I don't want to be. I'm just saying that, you know, like, low key, like, it's not the size of the fight, but the size of the fighter. You know, like, he's got a character.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what Elix Skipper's character is besides really athletic, skinny black dude.
That's it. That's his gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah. After the match, they cut to the announcers. They talk about how Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is the new boss, and he was supposed to have a meeting with Malice, Ken Shamrock, Jeff Jarrett, and R-Truth. Jeff Jarrett didn't show up to the meeting, but for some reason, Ricky, he lifted the suspension for Jarrett so Scott Hall can fight him tonight.
I'm just glad to see Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in this, because they needed that star power. I think this one of the things that made this show salvaged the show for me, really.
Oh yeah, Very much so.
I don't know who their previous authority figures were. Wasn't it like Bill Burns? And like,
Bill Burns,
yeah.
Yeah, and like Bullet Barb Armstrong or something.
He was never like actually an authority figure. He was just kind of there, kind of like.
Oh, okay.
Always
Well, I'm
backing
pretty sure he
stuff.
becomes one.
Oh yeah, like you can see it. He is Dragon's number 2 on this show.
And I'm not trying to crap on him either, but like.
He's Bullet
I
Bob.
mean, I do see why they needed somebody like Ricky the Dragon to step up here because, you know, Bullet Bob versus Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett's gonna kick the shit out of Bullet Bob, you know? Like,
yeah.
And Jeff Jarrett's not one of my favorite wrestlers, but he would destroy Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Oh, there's a big difference there where you could plausibly see, like, I know at this point Dragon hadn't quite recovered yet, like, physically, because it would be, I think, another 6-7 years until his match at Mania.
Yeah, well, what's going on now? Are we talking about when Jeff Jarrett comes out for his promo?
Oh, yeah. We're not quite there yet. So they cut back, and it's Monty Brown comes out on the stage, and to confront Elix Skipper.
He's trying to leave, yeah.
Yeah, and he attacks him, beats him up around ringside, slams him on the announce table, gets him in the ring, military presses him, and then like kind of gives him a fall-away slam style.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Then he goes and leaves. Then he decides, screw it, comes back, gets in the ring, and hits the Alpha Bomb.
Alpha Bomb!
Yeah, that was
right,
cool.
Man.
I like this guy. Like,
I'd get into it, too.
I feel bad that this guy can't wrestle or doesn't wrestle anymore. I know he went on after TNA to be Marcus Corvon in the WWE's version of ECW, and I heard that he had some sort of family issue or something where he just had to apparently had to go away from wrestling and stay home to take care of one of his children or something like that. And it's such a shame because he was super talented. Like, he was a powerhouse. And he had a good character.
Yeah, the thing is, he's one of those guys that you don't see a lot. You see, even in his lack of everything, like he doesn't have a lot yet. You can already see the charisma coming off of this guy. And
pounce. Period.
And he would come in, he would come into his own within the next year, and he was legit one of their top stars in this company for at least
a long time until he left
2005.
to go to WWE.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I thought he kind of got a raw deal there, and I think he kind of got buried there
in WWE. I mean, he wasn't the main event or anything, but that's because they were bringing in other really talented people at the very same time.
True.
I mean, he was also part of ECW, which was a fucking disaster. Like, I'd be very curious for somebody to go back and do one of these, shows where you subject yourself to watching bad wrestling to just watching WWE's version of ECW, and see how it kicks off just horribly bad right off the get-go with the Zombie and the Extreme Battle Royal, and it's like 3 weeks in before we get the first DQ finish.
Oh, that was terrible.
Fuck you. You know?
I have so many issues with ECW, but that's a podcast me and you, Kyle, can talk about doing.
Podcast in itself.
Yeah, that's a whole
I
other
have
podcast.
the network. I could watch that shit, but why? Oh, God. I just remember the Zombie, and then the Sandman comes out. But he doesn't have the actual Sandman music, so nobody gives a fuck. And then, he hits this guy really hard with a cane. And, whatever. Let's move on with the TNA before.
Back to something somewhat better.
This was better. This show, this TNA episode, with basically a bunch of job matches on it, like squash matches between guys who you're like, oh, clearly this guy's a star and this guy's not, or two guys where it was clearly like neither one of these guys is a star. This episode of TNA was way better than the first episode of ECW that was under WWE's banner.
By far. So from there, he kicks crap at him, and then they cut the announcers, and then Jeff Jarrett's music plays. He's coming out, and he's carrying a burlap sack, and it's moving, so there's a person in it.
Yes.
And okay, so I wrote down kind of some of the stuff that he said. He says that Ken Shamrock ain't there and Steamboat hasn't arrived yet, so he's gonna entertain himself.
Who was there? Like, there was like 8 guys at this show.
Yeah.
I'm serious. Like, they used the same, like, 8 guys, especially, like, when they did the massive brawl at the end. It was like, oh, every one of these guys had a match tonight. So, like, yeah, there was like 8, maybe 9 guys there. And, I mean, I didn't see any of the guys from the dark matches or anything, so I don't know. But, yeah, there was not a lot of people at this show. This seemed like Skeleton Crew.
Oh, very much so. So, so he says he's gonna entertain himself. Says he's gonna work his way from the bottom like Bill Barons wanted him to. He opens up the sack and reveals the tied up midget. I think his name was Todd. Todd Stone. And then he said he's gonna cripple a midget, and he starts beating the crap out of him. Then he like the guy's arms are still tied.
Yeah, he gave him pile driver, and then he power slams him, but he just like gives him horks him up onto his shoulder, and then just throws him off. He doesn't even bother to go down and make sure the guy he just tosses this motherfucker. The guy lands, and then Jared immediately picks him up and gives him the crappiest version of the stroke I've ever seen.
The mini stroke, yeah.
It's a mini stroke, yeah. The announcer, after he hits it, he yells, he just had a mini stroke.
Yeah, and then
Jared just gets on the mic, I just had a mini stroke.
Okay, clearly that's something that somebody overheard or something during the planning of the segment. And the commentator said it, and then it was it's such a good line that Jared wanted to say it too, so whatever.
Yeah, I love that. The mini stroke.
I do like the feel of this show, how it's indie.
Well, I'll say this: the first couple episodes of the show were, I thought the production quality was good, and then I think the last episode, the production quality just tanked. You get the lights in the camera. It looks so indie at this point. I don't know what the hell happened.
Oh, I didn't think this episode was terribly I didn't think the production value was terrible. I had a pretty high quality video I was watching though.
Yeah, compared to the couple episodes I watched, the first couple, I thought the production quality went quite down over these last couple episodes.
Well, I know they probably had to start trying to save money by this point. If you watch there's a fascinating TNA DVD, TNA Year 1 or something. And they just document the first year of TNA. It's a pretty good thing, but it started off with Jeff Jarrett and his dad running and financing the promotion and stuff, and that didn't last long.
No, they had Panda Energy.
Yeah, so this is probably what happened. Is they probably at this point are right about to sell to Panda Energy or just have. Yeah, and that's what I would suspect is attributing to the production quality.
Yeah.
So, which I don't think the production quality on this was all that bad.
No,
I've seen far worse.
I've seen worse, trust me. So he says is
it really off point for me to plug Backbreaker Media Network right now in our fucking pivot share video?
backbreakervod.pivotshare.com. You will get better production value, I promise. At least I hope you get better production value. But back to the match, or back to the ring. Jeff Jarrett says he's willing to fight old people and farm animals.
Oh yeah, no, he was bring out some bald farm animals so I can fight them or something. It was so ridiculous.
And then
I do kind of like the way Jeff Jarrett just goes off the handle and fucking improvises like that. That's bold. Yeah, so then let's continue on, because I know that what happens next is pretty fucking great.
This is legendary, and this is a clip Mike actually shared probably about a month and a half ago, just kind of help promote my show, and saying this is coming up soon. Puppet the Psychodorf comes out.
I love this guy. This was the dude that was jerking off in the garbage can.
Yes, and he comes out. Jeff Jarrett yells, "Stand up when I'm talking to you," which is, I love that. And then Jarrett says, "Oh, what did I do? I stole your gimmick." He says, I'm gonna be the Dwarf Destroyer."
Yeah.
And then Puppet calls Jeff Jarrett slapnuts, and then he decides he's gonna even it up, and he pulls a fucking gun.
Oh, it was so great. The bad part about it is everybody in the crowd is like, "Huh? What the fuck?" Like, nobody reacts at all, but
Like,
Jeff Jarrett is like, "Holy shit!" And then some security guys jump in the ring, and the Muppet guy is like, "Hey, stay back!" Like,
It's
look out,
Muppet, not
motherfuckers!
Muppet.
I'm gonna shoot somebody, right? Like, and then Jeff Jarrett just comes up and whacks him with a chair from behind him. I was like, "Whoa!" If you're Jeff Jarrett, you are the stupidest motherfucker in the whole world, because if that gun goes off and shoots somebody in the crowd, like, holy fuck, why would you hit that guy with a chair? Do whatever this midget says. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of true.
But you know what?
TNA would be shut down if that gun had gone off and killed somebody in the crowd. Or if it had shot Don West in the face.
Well, if it shot Don
had...
West, it would have been a good thing.
No. Fuck you. Don West is one of the best commentators in the history of professional wrestling.
He's one of the garbagest commentators.
No. I will fight you. You are wrong. Don West has a 2-minute fucking promo on this very show that displays exactly why he's the man.
I thought that was the worst promo I'd ever fucking seen in my life.
Oh, he flubs a couple of lines, but because it's Don West and because he is so fucking into it, you are like, yes, I've got to be here to watch next week's show because this motherfucker is putting that shit over.
All I thought was like, I never want to fucking tune in again. This guy's annoying the piss out of me.
No, you were completely wrong.
I have the
Andre.
exact opposite reaction to Don West
is
than you
one of
do.
the best commentators in the history of professional wrestling.
Okay, we will differ on this one because I don't feel that at all. But we'll get back to it, and then so Jeff Jarrett knocks Mo with a chair, and this is where Ricky the Dragon Steamboat comes out. Or was this where Jeff left?
Oh, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat comes out, but he comes out with his posse. He's got Ron Harris or Don Harris, one of the two. I can't remember which one.
Big Don.
Big Don Harris, and then he's got another geeky guy. I think it's Bullet Bob, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah,
he had Bullet Bob with him, and then he's going to say they're going to do this the easy way, the hard way, and then Jeff Jarrett in the end, Jeff Jarrett just challenges the Dragon to come in the ring.
Yeah, he's like, let's do this the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, so they get in there, and Jeff Jarrett says if he wins, he gets a title shot. If he loses, he'll take a 60-day suspension.
And 100%, I'll be honest with you, I thought this was nonsense too, because even like the fact that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is the man, at this point, it looked like Jeff Jarrett would kick the shit out of him. Like,
hey, when he jumped over that rope,
it was cool. He jumped over the rope and then he posed like the fucking praying mantis and was ready to throw down with Jeff Jarrett. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. I'm swearing so much.
Go right ahead.
But anyway, he was like, ready to throw down with Jeff Jarrett. And then Scott Hall just got in the ring and it was like, oh man, like, Scott Hall just ruined this for me because I wanted to see Ricky the Dragon Steamboat kick Jeff Jarrett's ass, but at the same time I was like, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is coming out here with his like straight up gray hair. Like,
oh, trust me.
And Jeff Jarrett is jacked. Like, Jeff Jarrett looks like he is not following the TNA wellness policy.
You have seen Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, even though he is in phenomenally good shape.
I can speak personally and attest to the fact that sometimes Jeff Jarrett uses substances.
Probably.
Yeah. But like legitimately, like dude, I don't agree with you at all. Dragon versus Jarrett, come on. There's no way.
No,
Dragon
after seeing Dragon versus Jericho a couple years later, like I bet you the match would actually be pretty fucking awesome.
I think so.
Yeah.
But when you just look at it, you're like, oh, he's jumping in there with jeans. He hasn't taken the wallet out of his back pocket. You know, straight up they're just covering for him to make him look more badass than he actually is, because he can't go.
Now, anyways, gentlemen, I want you both to shut your mouths and perk up your ears, because I got a little song to commemorate the occasion, and I want you to listen till I'm done.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Let's burst into song here, brother. Go for it. You want me to lay down a beat for you?
No, that's okay, unless you can figure it out, but... Puppet got a gun. Puppet got a gun. Security and Jared are on the run. 'Cause Puppet ain't just having fun. But what did old Double J do? With a chair beat Puppet into goo. Hoo. But Steamboat came a-callin', accepted a challenge from Double J. Oh, but Jared, look behind you, 'cause Scott Hall's gonna grind you, and Jeff Jarrett, you're gonna pay. Run away from the pain, Jeff Jarrett, Drama Queen, 'cause Puppet got a gun. Yeah, Puppet got a gun. Thank you very much.
Okay, that was our song break.
I like that. Has Short Sleeve Samson wrestled for TNA?
Not yet. So we end up cutting to the back, and Goldilocks is interviewing Sonny Siaki, and she's asking where the rest of the fly...
Hold on, we did cover the fact that Scott Hall came out and beat the shit out of Jeff Jarrett, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, he's like, beat the shit out of Jeff Jarrett, pull the stretcher, challenge him to a match. So
you go out on a stretcher like I did the last couple weeks, blah, blah, yeah.
Yeah. So we cut the back. Goldilocks is interviewing Sonny Siaki, and she asks where the team is, and he says she was...
I got this. First off, Goldie, I know you were checking out Sonny Siaki's ass. Don't ever check out Sonny Siaki's ass without Sonny Siaki's permission again. Second of all, don't ever touch Sonny Siaki again. Third of all, now you back up. Look at me, Goldie. Don't ever think dirty thoughts to Sonny Siaki. Does it look like Sonny Siaki needs backup? No, Elvis needs the Jordanaires. That's why Elvis was half the man that Sonny Siaki is. I gave Jimmy and Jorge the night off because the world wants to see Sonny Siaki showcase his talent. Anyways, one Elvis is better than three, and that's the one, the only. Say it, Goldie. Sonny Siaki? That's right, Sonny Siaki. Sonny has left the interview.
Now, this is the worst version of The Rock I've ever heard.
Oh, no, that's exactly my input. I was like, this guy is a fucking President's Choice version of The Rock.
I don't think it's President's Choice.
No, he's the no-name brand Rock.
The no-name brand from them.
Like, yeah,
he's not even as good as President's Choice.
Like, no-name brand. Like
no,
he comes in a yellow package with black writing that says The Rock on it, you know.
Or in parentheses says The Rock, and it says Sonny Siaki in parentheses The Rock.
But they make fun of on the show on the Avatar, the cartoon. The Last
this
Airbender,
guy doesn't
the
wrestle.
Boulder is one of the characters on that show, and he's making fun of The Rock just like that. So that's a good thing. The Boulder says.
Yeah.
Sonny Siaki is not active in the business anymore either.
If he is,
I
it's like
think there
very
was something. I'm pretty sure I heard something where he paralyzed somebody, or somebody paralyzed him. Something along those lines. Something really horrible and tragic. I don't know the exact details, but that's something you guys should maybe look into and find out for your next show. Cause
I'm literally looking it up on my phone right now.
Yeah, Sonny Siaki left the business, and it was something due to a horrible injury to someone. Whether he injured someone or was injured by someone, I can't remember. But
he's like a mentor to the other. He seems like a mentor to Jorge Estrada.
No, it says in here retirement. It goes. It shows the retirement, and it says he retired because he planned to donate a kidney to his brother.
Oh, to save his brother.
So I don't think he broke anybody's neck.
It doesn't say anything about him injuring anyone or being injured terribly.
Not that I know of.
Okay, well, I seem to recall that, but
yeah,
it was. I think it was an OVW thing. Like after TNA was over for him, he went on to work in Florida Championship Wrestling or OVW or something.
Beach South.
Yeah, something like that. And there was something happened, and it was like, oh no, he's done.
Says nothing about any injury on here.
Oh, well.
Says Siaki Siaki got a back injury, but that's about it.
Okay, how did he sustain a back injury?
Just said suffered a back injury on a tour that left him out of action for a month.
That's it?
Nothing, yeah. Yeah, nothing.
Must be the kidney.
That's weird. Don't get me wrong. Like his promo is completely derivative here, and his match is well executed. He does a lot of cool moves. Like I say, he's got to slow down a little bit, but he's not bad.
No, there's nothing against him. It's just you can tell. Actually. You can tell he's trying to do The Rock.
Yeah, at least that kind of attitude.
100%.
Yeah, so Danimal, you want to take over for the Siaki Slash match?
I sure do. It's the Slash versus Elvis, the Battle of the Rockers.
One thing I have to add, just because I know I'm adding a lot of stuff here, and I'm sorry, guys. But when Monty Brown came out earlier in the show, his theme music was Abyss's current theme music. Yeah,
trust me.
And now when the new church is coming out, they're coming out to their own new church music, which I thought that they kind of had the same music, but they don't. And it's a thing I noticed.
Both
are awesome songs, by the way.
Yeah. Trust me, I brought that music thing up in the past. It annoyed me the first time I heard it.
So anyways, early on, Siaki hits Slash with a cool somersault leg drop. Lots of Elvis-style points for that one, I thought. Slash tries to roll over Siaki to the apron and pick him up to powerbomb him outside the ring, but Siaki counters with a head scissors flip to Slash, sending him out of the ring instead. Pretty cool counter there.
Yeah.
Siaki then sends Slash into the ring and uses the top rope to enter with a spring moonsault senton onto Slash. Covers 1, 2. Slash says no. Pretty good, entertaining start to the match.
Yeah, no question that both these guys actually are good at executing moves, for sure.
They're just not over characters.
Yeah, I think the Slash and with Father James Mitchell especially was adding a whole lot to his act.
Oh, yeah. Very much.
But anyways, then Slash gets the upper hand and wishes Siaki, "Welcome to the jungle." He hits Siaki with a spinning drop move he calls the Slash and Burn. Pretty cool. Slash hammers away for a bit, but is unable to get a 3 count. That Slash and Burn look pretty sick.
It was essentially, if anybody's a fan of James Storm, he does this exact same move, and it's, I can't remember the name of it, but he uses it often in most of his matches.
Oh, yeah. Is it the 8-second ride?
I think so. Yeah, actually, I think you might be right. Yeah, the 8-second. He spins around for probably about 8 seconds and lets a guy. He has him up as if he's gonna hit him.
Oh no, that was like a spin out tornado razor's edge thing, right?
Well, he drops him mostly. Though. He doesn't really throw him down like the razor.
Yeah, I think that's the 8-second ride or the Eye of the Hurricane or the Storm. Eye of the Storm.
Yeah, he spins him around and it's like an 8-second ride. Yeah, that's probably.
It's either that or Eye of the Storm.
8-second ride is more like a air raid crash type thing.
I think it's
kind of a Samoan drop type maneuver, but I know what you're talking about. That was this. It's basically a spinning razor's edge.
Yeah, impressive.
It's pretty fucking nuts. It's cool.
A lot of force downwards. I think he just dropped him personally, but
you just kind of let him go as you're spinning, kind of deal.
Yeah. Rather than razor edge, you actually throw the guy's shoulders down towards the ground, but close enough, anyways.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, Slash puts a sleeper on Siaki. We'll call it the $1 million dream, and almost puts him to sleep before Siaki gets out of it. Basically it was exactly like $1 million dream as far as I could tell.
I gotta mention, the entire time this submission's on, they're not even talking about the match. They're talking about James Mitchell and Malice.
Coming up to do his thing at that
James Mitchell is far more interesting than this match.
No, but they're announced they should be selling that. Oh, he's gonna put Siaki out cold.
Horrible sleeper. He's gonna fall asleep. Yeah, exactly. They didn't do.
They're talking about Malice Mitchell. It's like okay.
I mean, other than Mike Tenay, all your announcers here are pretty green. Like
Ferrar.
Ed Ferrar is not an experienced announcer. Neither is Don West. these guys don't know wrestling. I mean, Ed Ferraro knows a thing or two about wrestling because he was a wrestler and stuff. He's not a good commentator.
But he should know what's expected of a commentator. He's been around the business for
I'm just telling you, he's not a good commentator.
He's watching enough shows, you gotta think.
Yeah, he's produced shows.
There's a reason why he doesn't last much longer, and I assumed he was already gone by this point. Like, legit, this is episode 7? I thought Ed Ferraro was gunned by, like, episode 2. Like...
Oh, we're not that lucky.
Anyways, later Siaki hits Slash with his abdominal stretch-style fall-away slam and hits a snap suplex. However, he goes to the top turnbuckle and misses a flying leg drop. Then Father Mitchell distracts the ref while Slash puts the hood on Siaki and hits him with a neck breaker we'll call the Rude Awakening.
Yeah, that was cool.
And puts and pins Siaki for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner, the Slash. And Sonny Siaki is left crying in the chapel. Oh, thank you very much. Match time, 8 minutes.
Yeah, not a great 8 minutes in my life. 8 minutes I wish I got back.
It was a little long for a match between two guys like that nobody cares about.
Like, I know they're trying to build Siaki, but
they're trying to build both guys. I mean, clearly, if they were trying to build Siaki, then making him job out to this Flash dude was not the move.
Not a good idea.
You know?
There must have been like chloroform in the hat was what they're trying to sell, because that hood seemed to do more damage than just a hood over somebody's head.
I like the fact that he pulled out a hood, though, and wrapped that around the guy's head, and then hit the neck breaker. That was cool. Like,
I like the sell of it,
yeah. Point's high, yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, no, if you, like, legit, like, even just, like, picturing myself taking, like, if I was wrestling and I had to take a neck breaker, and somebody covered my eyes to do it, like, it would be scarier.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, so after
anyways, I got this still.
Oh, you got it?
Father Mitchell then puts some blood from the Ark of the Awdead on Siaki's head, and he says, the blood of the Awdead can be used to anoint or to desecrate. Now, Sonny Siaki obviously chose the wrong path, so let the desecration begin. It's like some kind of strange religious cult ceremony is what I said. You're very, very out of the way, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It was cool. I mean, I really like Father James Mitchell. I think he's a fantastic character.
It is really cool. It's stable.
I think the blood of the Audad thing, like, I don't know what a fucking Audad is, so, like,
but I want to.
He could have been like, if he had been like, it is the blood of Krampus, it would be like the same sort of thing, you know? I will say he left a hell of a blood stain on the mat there, though, for the rest of the night.
Yeah, you're kidding, eh?
Yeah, it's odd, but we get Don, Big Don again, Big Don Harris.
Yeah.
Makes
make the save, yeah.
Yeah, Big Don, you know, the guy you really want to get over in all of this. He comes out, powerbomb Slash, and then Malice comes out to confront him, but James Mitchell stops him, and they have like a stare down, and then they leave. So, yeah. So they cut to the back, and Goldilocks is in the back with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. She says it's all out of control, and what's he gonna do? He says the law has been laid out, and he says he's gonna fix all the issues, and he's here to set down the law. And then, but then she goes, how are you gonna fix it? And he just kind of like no-sells her and then leaves. Like, he's just like, I'm not gonna tell you that right now.
Don't
and
compare
then,
me.
It came across.
To Barons.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Kyle.
I was just saying, it came across to me as really scripted. Like, I did not believe the words that were coming out of. I thought that Goldilocks does a tremendous job as an interviewer. But Ricky the Dragon Steamboat is not a great promo here.
He screwed his promo up. He got the words wrong.
It sounds like he's trying to recite memorized lines, and that just
very much so
kills it for me. You know, I'm like,
Ricky Steamboat's mouth.
Yeah, no, just like don't recite memorized lines. Like, just come up with your own shtick, man. You're Ricky the fucking Dragon Steamboat.
Let him talk.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, he screwed that promo up big time, and it sounded ridiculous.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, Steamboat was never known as a great promo. I wouldn't imagine. I know he's well respected for his in-ring work.
Yeah, he
but
was
his
never known for
promo
talking.
ability was never one of the things that he was, hailed for. And I think that putting him in a situation where he's got to try and recite these lines that are probably written most likely by Vince Russo, who I've already said I thought was cool at the time. But, this is coming across as him trying to recite memorized lines, and that just kills it for me. I need it to be natural,
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, go ahead.
So then he goes to leave, and then Bruce walks across the camera, and then they cut away. And they're just like, oh, is Bruce there? And then Bruce. So
Bruce, the gay dude.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll get to him later. So they cut back, and it's Girls in Cages dancing, ladies and gentlemen.
Girls in Cages.
Oh, is this when R-Truth comes out and confronts the girl?
It will, but
this
is the running gag for us is Girls in Cages dancing, because it happens way too many times on every episode.
And it's almost like their thing. It's like their thing that makes them special or different. But yeah, it does get a little repetitive.
It's their shitty version of the Nitro Girls. So
this is not where R-Truth comes out and confronts the girl, though.
Yeah, this is where our Truth music plays, and he comes out, he starts talking to the black girl in the cage, African-American girl in the cage.
He's like, are you happy with your life choices?
I literally wrote it down.
Homeboy,
he says she's
off.
caged like an animal, and he says that she is there against her will. They are exposing her for their benefit and the almighty dollar. He says this is a damn freak show. He says he took a stand and she should take a stand and tell her story. Then he starts imitating her and this is where he starts insulting the girl. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, no, he gets awkwardly, you're like, yeah, why is there girls in cages dancing on this show? This is pretty demeaning to women.
Yeah, and she doesn't care. That he was going to give her his unit or something at the end of that. I was like, oh, what the?
I mean, I'm sure she has to invest some money into a gym membership to take care of her body and stuff.
Yeah,
but how much is she being paid to dance in that cage while they advertise other NWA local events that are happening in Beaumont, Minnesota?
And in Vancouver, British Columbia for ECCW.
Oh, I did. I don't remember seeing that one on here, but I do remember seeing it in the past and on NWA-TNA before. I do remember seeing ECCW. I actually I got my start in wrestling with ECCW, sort of, kind of, not really.
Oh, nice.
I was with VCW, and we ended up doing a couple of TV tapings. It was a lot of fun. Anyway, one day I hope to discuss that on a future episode of Monday Night Shaw.
Yeah. All right. So,
as he pull this unit and abuser, in comes Monty Brown, the alpha male, for the save.
Yeah, Monty Brown just pretty much starts kicking his ass, and then Truth
gets the better of him this time. What the hell?
He does. He ends up taking him out. It's messing with a 2x4. Ho!
That right across the head, man.
I thought them wrestling in the crowd made this show look really small.
Okay, I will get to that later because it gets really bad during the main event. But then R-Truth goes back over the stage, leaves. Then Ricky the Dragon Steamboat comes out, goes to the ring, calls out R-Truth. R-Truth music plays again, and then he comes back out.
I got you saying R-Truth too.
I was like, why the hell did he have to leave? Why didn't Dragon just come out?
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
Oh, it was so dumb.
Why did he run off? Yeah.
So dumb. But, so Dragon's all serious. Truth says, essentially, in the end, he makes the racial comments saying that they held that Dragon down too because he's Asian. He's part Asian.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then in the end, Dragon gives him the title match next week. I just kind of out of nowhere.
I know, it's a little, obviously, hey.
I'm pretty sure he wins the belt too. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's for another show. But yeah, he just kind of out of nowhere, just like, all right, you get what you want. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Well, no, I'll say that Ron Killings is a hell of a promo.
I like
Oh
Ron
no,
Killings.
he's still the truth right now.
Like, well, the truth,
Ron
Ron
Killings,
Killings, K-Crush, whatever the fuck he wants to call himself. At this point, like, even when he was talking to the black girl and, like, running her down for dancing in the cage, it was like, this guy knows how to cut a wrestling promo.
Yeah,
He is really good
I've always loved
on
Ron
the
Killings.
stick.
I think he's cool.
And
Killings
I think
is
he's
great.
even underrated today. Like, I think...
Well, he's a great entertainer.
Didn't
He's a rapper
he
and
just win the U.S. Championship on SmackDown, like, last week?
Yeah,
Is he not the current U.S. champion right now?
I
Ron
think so.
Killings? I thought it was.
Well, if he is,
As
it's
a
well
sporting,
deserved.
yes.
Like, he's
wow.
good.
I missed that show.
He's way better than people give him credit for.
Yeah, I
He's
think
like
so.
He's
Elix
hilarious.
Skipper,
He's very
but
funny,
with a
too.
character.
When he wants
Oh,
to be
yeah.
funny, he's very funny.
So yeah,
Sorry
he
to
gives him the
Elix
title,
Skipper.
and
I'm not
it
trying
was
to
just
shit
kind of like out of nowhere that Dragon just decided, oh, we're giving him the title shot. I just kind of was just like, eh. I'm like,
Well, he appealed to a sense of being held down
I think,
for his
yeah,
race,
no,
so,
I
mean,
think his promo
it's
was
a little bit-
convincing.
it's a little bit.
the promo was good. The promo was good. I just was like, this is, I don't know. It just seemed weird.
It's a little iffy that he would let his personal feelings of race be holding him down to give Ron Killings this championship shot for the NWA title out of nowhere. It was a little bit weird, yes.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming at. Like, it's just like he let his personal.
Well, who else should be
And
the
then Ron
number
Killings is
one
dancing
contender
and
for
rapping
the
and
title?
doing good. It should have been Monty Brown, really. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, because
Monty Brown got his ass kicked by R2.
Oh, sorry,
So
Apollo. Should have been Apollo, they said, didn't it?
fuck
Yeah,
that guy too. He sucks.
And not
on Apollo,
and no
Apollo's
Jeff Jarrett.
your star. What are you talking about?
And no Jeff
No,
Jarrett.
Apollo is terrible. Apollo is awful.
Star.
He's
Come
not
on.
bad. He's another Figueroa, man. We gotta love those Figueroas.
All right, so they come back to the announcers, and they're all talking about the now. They're like, Ferrara's all like, yeah, he deserves a shot, but the other two are just like,
Why?
yeah, why he got the shot. And then we get match number 3 of the night. It is Malice, formerly known as The Wall, with Father James Mitchell taking on the aforementioned Apollo. And I even wrote in my notes, this is another match I just don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a terrible match. It was not good.
The heavyweight and the bang bang, but that was all it was. Just a bruising match to enjoy a bunch of guys beating each other up. Really.
Like I did notes for this, and then I read it back, and I'm like, there is nothing interesting about this match.
Super kick.
It was
Yay,
just
we don't see that all the time.
Apollo and The Wall, and they were exchanging punches and stuff, and neither one was particularly
Apollo got cut
flashy.
open. That is one thing.
Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Apollo got busted open at some point, and it was like, why would you blade on this fucking show?
Yeah, they threw him into a
Why?
barricade. Why would you blade after being thrown into a barricade?
And this is 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks in a row of seeing Malice getting attacked and him no selling. If you see him get beat down by Apollo looks strong. Malice gets right the fuck back up. It pisses
Doesn't
me
Apollo
off
win
so
this
much.
match?
Yeah, he does. Okay, so in
What
the
the
end,
fuck?
Apollo hit,
Why would Apollo win this match? Apollo, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say it. Like, he executes his moves fine, but he is legit. Like, he is more Elix Skipper than Elix Skipper is.
They're building him up.
He
And
is
besides
more
their
just
gimmick,
like generic big dude from Puerto Rico.
But they are
Yeah.
building him up. And
He-
besides the shtick, basically the disciples of the new church are glorified jobbers. They hardly ever win. They just do their crap.
No, Malice is like a legit, he's a legit threat in NWA-TNA.
He's
Like,
not winning
he's
matches.
fought Ken Shamrock, Sabu, like,
and he's lost to both
he
of them.
was the Wall in WCW, which legit for a little while, the Wall was kind of a big deal. Rest in peace to him. He apparently has died between now and then.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, the Wall's dead.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Malice is dead. He's been dead for years.
Dude, December 6, 2003.
Wow.
He would be
Yeah.
dead a year and a half.
Not long
later.
after this. Like, yeah, he doesn't stick around for a long time. But he was talented
Blood of Audax.
as a big dude. Like, he's legit, he's like, I would put him in Isaac Yankem level of talent, you know?
He was found dead in Japan.
Isaac Yankem. That's Triple Triple H, man. Are you kidding me?
No,
Yankham's
Isaac
Kane.
Yankem was Kane.
Sorry,
But
Kane.
like he's like
Sorry.
Kane before
Kane
Kane.
is awesome.
Like this guy, like he wasn't bad. Apollo was like, who the fuck cares about this guy?
Apollo would never actually really become a star for this company, like you
Or
could
any
see
other
him
company
wanting to be a
ever.
star,
Like he was
but
a
there's no
star
charisma.
in Puerto Rico for a little while, maybe.
Yeah,
But no,
I'll agree.
nobody's
I don't
writing
think
home
Apollo
about
has
any
any
Apollo
charisma.
matches.
I find the guy super boring.
Yeah.
So and Apollo hits a DDT, and then super kick, and he gets a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then Malice gets right the hell back up and kicks the crap out of Apollo.
Oh, and they come in and they desecrate
And then-
him with
and then-
the
no, but-
blood of the Abed as well.
He chokeslams the ref,
Abed.
and then Big Don comes down as Malice is going to a chokeslam Apollo, and they fight with Malice till Slash comes in, hits the hood, hits the Rude Awakening with the hood, and then they do the odd-ad shit again to Don Harris.
Blood on the forehead, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, so as much as I don't like Apollo, I don't think he's great. You had him beat Malice, who is one of your legit threats, because he has been facing Ken Shamrock and Sabu. But you have him beat him, but then he immediately gets up and gets his heat back. So you did nothing for Apollo.
Yeah.
And you just kind of make him look like a chump. I agree with
Crappy
you.
booking they've done. They keep holding back the disciples of the new church when they should be winning and dominating and destroying everybody. They just keep holding him back. And by the way, sorry for that, to Kane for messing up that slip of the tongue there.
No worries. But like, I understand, Kyle, 100% where you're coming from with Apollo. I don't like the guy, but he is a guy that they're trying to build up.
They're trying to, exactly.
And they tried for a long
baby
time
faces.
too, because like I even remember like the first legit pay-per-view they did that wasn't a weekly one. He was on that show for sure.
Yeah, he's with this company for a long time.
I think he was actually in OVW for a while too. He was like a WWE prospect for a while. And
he has
ended
the
up getting released because they were like, "Yeah, no, we can't work with this."
Yeah, he has the look that Vince McMahon would like to have on his roster, but
And
he
they
has
love the
no
Puerto Ricans.
charisma.
Vince has always loved the Puerto Rican families and the dynasties at Puerto Rico for wrestling.
Well, I don't know if this guy's from any kind of
Carlito!
dynasty or if he's just a musclehead from Puerto Rico.
Musclehead from Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm guessing. No offense, and I'm not trying. Like, I hate to be negative on anyone in the business who's put in the work and like trained, but I just don't give a fuck about you. You know?
Well, see, they need baby faces. They're trying to build up hero baby faces the best they can, and that was just a failed experiment.
No,
and they should have had.
He's not a hero by any stretch of the imagination.
They're trying to make him a hero.
Yeah, they're trying to build it. So from there we cut to girls in cages. This is a running gimmick there, Kyle.
I'm aware. I do actually listen to your podcast, Andre.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought you were just like, I'm just gonna big time him. But
I'm very, very, very intoxicated when I listen to it. But
yeah,
I do listen to it.
So in this part where they put the girls in cage dancing, they talk about their merch is now available on NWA-TNA.com. I decided to type in that link. It took me to a page, and I had to press continue. Then it took me to the Impact Wrestling Wikipedia page.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Speaking of Impact Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, RCW announced today that Moose from Impact Wrestling is going to be making some appearances in March. So stay tuned for the ad. Yes, make sure you come out to those shows because it's going to be pretty cool to see Moose in action.
Oh, heck yeah. So they cut back to the ring, and Don West is in the ring, and he brings out Miss TNA Taylor Vaughn.
Anybody know anything about this chick? Like, was she in Tough Enough or something? I'm pretty sure she was.
Not this lady.
Yeah, I have no idea.
The lady that's
Well, who is she? Because she puts up a lot of fight in this match where she should have just got her ass kicked.
It was it was actually not a bad match for a short one.
I literally when
it was a terrible match.
When Dawn West is in the ring and the announcers when she's coming down, they said I think it's Ed Ferrara says this match was a scientific contest we will be talking about for years to come. I laughed so good.
Nobody's talking about this shit. The only thing I'm talking about is who is Taylor Vaughn? I'm pretty sure she's like from one of the original Tuffenouts. I could be totally wrong, but like, who is she?
Was on late in the show.
Why is she Miss TNA? Like,
she won a battle royal.
She's not exceptionally good looking. No offense to her.
There was a battle royal. I don't know why.
She's not a bad wrestler though. Maybe they want to build her up.
She's not a bad wrestler. She's a terrible fucking wrestler. Are you a crack? No, she's terrible. This match was terrible. It was awful.
Girl on guy action. Hot.
Yeah, and she straight up, like, she took her high heels off and wrestled in bare feet. And a fucking nightgown against this dude that looked like...
Kyle, hold up. She was known as Barbara Bush in the WWE.
Oh shit, no, I know who she is then. She's Hardcore Holly's wife.
Oh no.
She married Hardcore Holly and is his ex-wife. 100%. That's who Barbara Bush is. She is awful. She is terrible. She was in WWE for a cup of fucking coffee, and she was
complete
absolutely garbage.
Oh, I agree 100%. This was
the reason why this match happened, though, because we're going to leave our listeners like totally baffled as to what this match was about if they haven't watched the pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, no, she wanted to be. She was Miss TNA, and this
Bruce
fellow came out, Bruce, from the Rainbow Express. I believe his tag team partner is Lenny Lane.
He's a member of the Rainbow Express because he actually replaced Lodi. He is not even an original member of the Rainbow Express.
Oh my!
His tag team partner is Lenny Lane, though, right?
Yeah, but originally it was Lenny and Lodi. Bruce replaced Lodi after he got hurt.
Bruce is straight up used to be Kwee in WCW, right?
I think isn't he the dude from the WWE pay-per-views doing the Funkster gimmick? No, that's Alan Funk.
Terry Funk.
Alan Funk, yeah.
No,
isn't that
Alan Funk? Yeah. Yeah,
that's
not
right.
Terry Funk. Terry Funk. Oh God, I feel terrible for just uttering like Terry Funk and Kate and Kwee. He was Kwee in WCW. Like, legit, his gimmick was he's a gay guy. Which, whatever. Like, it's 2018. You want to be a gay, fine. In 2002, I guess that got you heat. And, I mean, I'll be honest, in 2002, I was probably like, yeah, I want to see this woman beat up this gay dude. But, you know, like, straight up, this guy looks like if he wanted to, he would fuck this woman up for fucking...
Literally,
this
match starts with her throwing her shoe at him.
Oh, and like, now that I know she is BB, Barbara Bush from the WWE, I'm just like more so like, oh, please beat the shit out of her. Like,
and so
she was so bad.
I will sum this entire match up in a couple sentences. They have a cat fight. Literally, they're rolling on the ground having a cat fight. He picks her up, hits her with a short arm clothesline, puts her in an abdominal stretch, scoop slams her, misses a leg drop, then he whips her, hits her with a bangarang, and gets
she got offense on him too, though. And at one point, legit at one point in this match, I was like, oh, I'm starting to have some sympathy for her. And then Don West brings up the fact that she nutshotted him at the very beginning of the match.
It's
and I was
true.
like,
low blow,
oh yeah, no, she fucking hit him in the balls. Fuck her shit up. You know, like,
she hits with the balls. Then she throws her shoe at him. She slams him once. They start having a cat fight, and that's where he clotheslined her. Then he starts beating the shit out of her.
And then he hit some sort of tilt-a-whirl face plant slam.
Bangarang.
Yeah.
It's known as the bangarang.
Okay, well, it was kind of a cool move.
And your winner,
and he won the match. And now he's the new women's champion of TNA.
Because he challenged her, saying, I want equal treatment. I want to have a shot at the Miss TNA title, essentially. And called her a bitch, so she accepted the challenge. That's the reason for the match.
Yeah, pretty much. And as the ref is putting the crown and sash on Bruce, he's crying.
Yeah.
This is Vince Russo booking 101.
Really love me.
I would be very surprised if Vince Russo was not behind the booking of this segment.
Oh,
yeah. You really love me.
All right, and that's it. Like that, I have to get away from that That was garbage.
It was stupid as fuck.
Katina Morella.
So
Katina Morella
retarded.
did the same thing.
Yeah, but at least that was funny. All right, so we cut to the back. Goldilocks is in the back with Loki. He says he's not gonna interview with her again, and he just is talking in the ring. Simple as that. I like the way they're portraying
the size
him.
of the fight, but the size of the fighter in the fight. I love Loki. I've botched his catchphrase twice on this podcast already, but I love Loki.
Okie dokie, Kyle.
You know what else we love? Girls in cages dancing!
Yep, that's what comes next. Girls in cages dancing. And then
the black girl's still dancing. The black girl that R-Truth was like, you should reconsider your life choices to.
Yeah.
She's still dancing.
He called her a hoe. Alright, we cut back to the ring, and it's match number 5. Low-Key versus Jerry Lynn with his tag team partner AJ Styles. Again, this is another match where I can't go through all the shit they did because, by God, did these guys just kill it. Like, they spent the first 5 minutes... They spent almost 5 minutes just exchanging holds, and I was enthralled.
100%. I think that when I look back on my nostalgic feelings for TNA from this era, from 2003, the X Division is what set aside TNA from everything else.
X Division is what sold TNA. Is what made
this match and the match between AJ Styles and Elix Skipper are the reason you would buy this pay-per-view.
100%.
I do not give a fuck about Jeff Jarrett and Don Harris.
Hold on.
And Scott Hall. Don't get me wrong, Scott Hall is cool.
I like Scott Hall.
But
that's the story.
No,
but think about this.
The X Division matches on this, that's the reason why you tuned into TNA.
They were good wrestling.
Okay. But, for maybe a fan that has never seen this before, say he's the guy that's flipping through the channels and sees TNA pay-per-view, and you see the word Scott Hall on your thing, that Scott Hall will entice you to buy the first time. But it's AJ Styles, Elix Skipper, Low-Key, and Lynn that keep you come back and buy it again. That's the starting point on these guys.
Good classic X Division matches with these guys.
Oh.
And the X Division was the reason why I wanted to watch TNA once I found out about it. I believe the first time I ever found out about TNA was actually because R-Truth, Ron Killing, sustained some kind of a neck injury. He took some sort of a weird move out of the ring and landed almost on his neck. And I saw a screenshot from it, and I was like, wait, I know ECW and WCW have gone out of business, but now there's another thing? Okay. Let's watch some of that. So, I'm
Jeff Hardy, so.
Yeah, no, I immediately started watching, TNA at that point, and yeah, it hooked. It's a very, TNA is a milestone in my fandom of professional wrestling. It really is.
And these matches are a good example of it, and so much stuff in this match. It was great. Gory special, even. Yeah,
that gory special, and then he releases it with the gory special into the slam.
Slam, it was great.
I legitimately, when I play the WWE games, that I use they have the gory special flatliner. Yeah. And this is you hook him in a flatline, then you let him go and slam him. This almost was the same move.
I gotta look that up. I gotta try that move.
But
it's cool. Yeah.
I really like. But
gory bomb.
In the first 5 minutes, these guys doing all the transitions. They're switching between submissions, like they're slipping through butter. It's beautiful.
I think, Jerry Lynn, of course, too, is I bet you if the Jerry Lynn, I would be very, very happy if RCW booked Jerry Lynn to come in and wrestle for us, because I know that whoever he worked, it would be a fantastic match. And he'd probably put on a hell of a seminar for the young guys, too. Jerry Lynn is the man. And you watch this match with Low-Key, and Low-Key hits some amazing maneuvers in this match. There's one point where he definitely does a capo kick. Some sort of cartwheel kick. It's amazing, and he also goes for the classic Key Crusher 99, which is like a fisherman's buster into a fall-away, like Falcon Arrow type maneuver. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I love it.
Watch that maneuver, and you're like, oh shit! Like, no kidding. Low-key is the fucking man. Now, I've heard Low-key has kind of a bad attitude, and that's why he's not in a lot of wrestling these days. Is because he's a bit of a, like, Low-key's for Low-key. I don't know if he's selfish or whatever, but he also is stiff as fuck, which is part of his appeal, to be honest. But yeah, no, Low-key is amazing in this match. So is Jerry Lynn. And then it does break down into outside interference, which is a bit of a bummer.
Oh yeah, but it had to be because they're finally gonna have AJ Styles the whole match saying I'm his buddy, he's teaching me stuff, and then nope, fuck you.
Yeah, no.
I was totally lying.
I know there's an AJ Styles versus Loki versus Jerry Lynn ladder match. I don't know if you...
No, it's a triple threat.
No, it's a triple threat regular match next week, but the ladder match is down the road.
Well, if you haven't seen that ladder match between those three, like, check that shit out, because it's pretty fucking amazing.
We definitely will.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, in the end, Jerry Lynn is setting up, Jerry Lynn sets him for the cradle pile driver, but Low-key does his front flip, like a somersault kick, and heel kick. I love that move where he just flips forward.
I think that's the one I was talking about, the copper kick.
The copper kick, yeah. It's the copper kick. Then Low-key goes and whips Jerry Lynn into the ropes, and this is where AJ jumps up on the apron and kicks Lynn in the back of the head.
Yeah. Finally betrays him after all that bullshit he did the whole time.
So for me, the referee is what bothered me the most in this ending. He throws the match out and creates a no contest. In my eyes, that's a win for Jerry Lynn.
Yeah, of course it is. It always has been. The first guy to get contacted is the one who wins by outside interference, usually.
I seem to recall being like, oh, wait, that should be a DQ and somebody should be the definitive winner here.
Yeah,
I agree.
Out saying triple threat. That was just the way they get the triple threat.
Yeah.
Not a winner.
Yeah, so after the match, AJ Styles is yelling at Lynn, who's laying on the ground. Low-key grabs him, kicks him in the head, and Low-key just walks the hell off. Because he's like,
rivalry. That's the way to do it.
and then they make the. So then we cut to the back. Goldilocks is with the head of security, Big Don Harris, and he says Malice got one up on him. He says he's gonna go talk to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He's gonna make sure him and Malice have a first blood match.
First blood. That's gonna be awesome.
Guess what? Girls in cages.
Girls dancing in cages.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and from there we go to the Disco Inferno show, Jive Talking, and fuck this show.
What?
I absolutely hated this. Kyle?
It was pointless.
No, I liked it.
I don't know how you like this.
I think that Disco immediately comes off as a huge douchebag.
I agree. 100%.
That is the point of the segment.
I agree, and that makes me go, why the f*** is he on this goddamn fucking show?
He also promises naked breasts of his next guest.
I don't like it. Okay, so he promises his female guest is going to show her boobs.
Yes.
Then he gets Goldilocks to talk about her music career.
And here's the thing. I thought Goldilocks reacted really well. She did a tremendous job improvising off Disco Inferno, reacting to what he said. And honestly, she was like, yeah, no, I'm not showing my tits. Okay, so get over it.
Before we get to her showing her tits, him trying to get her to show her tits, when they're doing the interview, this is where I probably enjoyed the only part of this segment I enjoyed. She calls herself a female Kid Rock.
Oh, yeah, I remember that too. And I remember going, should I go on YouTube right now and look up some of her music? And then I was like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I did. It's terrible. So her songs, she lists her songs. The ones I remember are Pie Hole,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bitch Don't Cry. And that's the one called her autobiography. And then the other one was Lucy Leadfoot.
The hell is that?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure this Disco Inferno segment is where the, what's his name, Dean Baldwin makes his debut on TNA. I could be wrong, but the Dean Baldwin segment, oh, guys, please talk about that when it comes out.
I'll be honest, I've never heard her music. I don't know if it's good or not. I don't know if it
actually... Oh, no, her music I'm sure is awful, because I was like, I remember sitting there going, oh, she's calling herself a female Kid Rock in 2002. Fuck her. This music probably sucks.
2002, though.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear her music just so I could shit all over it if it was bad.
I have no idea. I just I hate this so
like
much.
Mickey James's music that she did when she was a
country artist,
but not as good.
I have her CD.
Oh, poor guy. I feel bad for you.
A total of once. I don't know. I can't. Like, I'm not gonna shit on it because it's not horrible, but it ain't good. But I just imagine this. Oh shit! I found her on Spotify.
Pardon me. Oh, Goldilocks from TNA is on Spotify. What is her Spotify fucking name so that all our listeners can go down and listen to her theme music?
I'm gonna be listening to this after, subjecting myself to the shit. But legit on Spotify, it's Goldie space Locks with a capital S.
Wow.
I don't know if this is the same chick. Like, she looks a lot older. But
are the songs the same names? Like, can you look up the songs that she named off?
Oh man, she has like an album out that came out this year.
What? Wow.
Yeah, what the fuck? Oh, it's the same chick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I honestly don't know if this is her. I'm really not sure at this point.
Well, I'll have to look it up a little bit more.
I really hope this is actually her. No, I don't think it is. Guys, I apologize. I didn't find her.
Is the music worth listening to? Like, that's the real question.
I don't think that was her. I apologize, guys. I thought I found her. I really did.
But anyways, to get back to the show, when she's all appalled at Disco Inferno, she starts attacking him, and then out from behind comes the lady who was on Tough Enough for sure. That what's her name? I wrote her name down here. Paulina from Tough Enough comes out and puts a sleeper on her and puts her to sleep. Now that surprised me. Here's this sleaze, has this woman who is trying to get her to show her breasts, helpless and asleep, and he just walks away. I mean,
yeah.
It's appropriate.
I forgot about that.
In the 80s, they had 16 Candles, where the show was totally based on the fact that taking advantage of a helpless woman isn't rape. And here in the 90s, he just walks away with a helpless female that he tried to get to show her breasts. You'd think he would have tried something and had somebody come out and maybe make the save or something to show he's
Are
been
you
more
trying to
asleep.
imply that Glenn Gilberti raped Goldilocks?
No, but he
Kyle!
He could have had the opportunity.
Danimal, I'm sorry, Kyle.
And yet, someone come out and made the save, and it would have been like, boy, this sleaze tried to actually do something horrible while she was asleep. Instead, they put her to sleep and just walk away. Oh, well, sleeping female, nothing to be seen here.
What you're saying, we should have had rape on this show?
No, just the hint of it, and then a save maybe, or maybe, Bill Barron's going to say, no, we can't have this smut on this show, or something to add, to make sense of the fact that she puts her to sleep and then they just walk away.
Oh, God.
I don't think that... Yeah, no, I never even fucking equated any kind of sexual assault into this angle whatsoever. It was just some really big, large chick coming out, choking out a smaller girl, and it was like, okay, cool, like, this girl's from Tough Enough, and she's choking out the interview girl. Like, I'm pretty sure Goldilocks never wrestled a fucking match in her life.
Probably not. But I just thought that was, like, if you're going to tell a story, Don't just leave the story hanging and say, "Oh well, she's sleeping now. Let's go away.
If you're
Let's
gonna
not wake
tell
her
a
up."
story, maybe a rape story is not a great idea either. You know?
I don't want to see a goddamn rape story. I'm not a creeper like Danimal.
That would give her reason to be mad at them and to be more
Sure,
pissed off.
she'd have plenty of reason, but
hate him. They should have at least hinted that maybe that might have happened.
it's not a great reason, man.
Well,
No. Putting rape into your wrestling is not a good idea. Like, let's not do that. That's a bad idea. Like Brock Lesnar trying to get ring rats. Like, oh god.
Female and rape that big, and unfortunately, it's just like something's missing here. It's like they should have taken this story a tiny bit further and then cut it off. I thought to make this guy even more of a sleaze than he actually was.
Okay, well, let's drop it here and all decide that we all had our levels on where this should have been.
Jesus Christ.
But I thought it was a funny filler segment anyways. I didn't hate it that bad. I just thought, whatever, it's like, what's the point?
Oh, and getting back to her music, through further investigation, yes, I found her Spotify page, but none of these songs actually exist.
Oh,
what?
It's so disappointing. Pie Hole, Bitch Don't Cry, and Lucy Leadfoot aren't actual songs from her.
Oh, she didn't upload them. Maybe she didn't upload them.
I feel so cheated now that I don't get to hear those songs. I feel so cheated. So they promo. So they cut to the announcer's desk, and this is where Kyle's favorite promo of the night from Dawn West happens.
Uh-oh. But anyways, the whole thing was fucked up. That's the point. And they leave the sleeping female in the ring, the sleaze, and says, "Oh well, she's sleeping. Better not wake her up." And whereas, what's his name would have been Giggity Giggity Goo, or Giggity Giggity Goo, the stupid guy from Quagmire. He's Quagmire, and yet there's no Giggity Giggity Goo at the end. It's like, what kind of goo are we selling here if it's not Giggity Giggity Goo?
Alright, garbage is in the past. We're going to move on to more garbage. So we get down to Dawn West promo, Kyle's favorite promo of the night, where Dawn West goes red, and I think he sounds like shit.
Dawn West is the man. No, when he goes off on this promo, it's awesome. Even though he flubs his lines, like, you can even see, like, Ed Ferrara in the back being like, "Oh yeah, no shit, he just flubbed his line there." Kind of pointing at him, being like, "Yeah, what the fuck?"
And that's why he sucks.
Because he's great. He has so much enthusiasm for this.
He calls him Ricky the Steamboat Dragon.
Exactly, and then that's the point where Ed Ferrara points it out. But other than that, like, I'll tell you, as somebody that has to stand in front of a crowd and just come up with some shit off the top of your head, it can be difficult.
Oh, and Kyle, I know exactly where you're coming from, but I just think his delivery is way too over the top, way too manic and crazy. Like,
you are on crack. If that's the point, it's supposed to be over the top. He is supposed to be as enthusiastic as fuck.
But I think
that's exactly what he is.
To me, his manic and crazy is too much. It's over the top. I don't like him as a commentator. I don't like him as on a promo. I don't like his TV spots. That trust me, and I've watched a shit ton of them because I've just seen him in the. I fell down a rabbit hole years ago watching him.
I think his brown bag special videos are some of the best stuff that he's ever done.
I'm talking about his late night cable videos.
No, he's done TNA like brown bag specials where it's like, yeah, you'll get one of 5 random TNA pay-per-views on DVD, and you'll also get a TNA t-shirt from who knows who. It could be a fucking The Naturals t-shirt. They were popular in 2014.
Naturals, they were only popular in 2004.
Yeah, whatever. But anyways, no, I think Dawn West actually brings a lot of enthusiasm and energy to TNA. I'll be honest, Mike Tenay to me kind of comes across as a little tired and old.
Okay, that's fine, man. I get that. I get where you're coming from. I understand. You like him, I don't. Simple as that. So we move on to the main event of the evening.
Get confrontation with you. Yeah. I'm trying to settle all my hashtag manufactured ring announcer heat. which I actually have put out feelers, and What About Ivan has agreed to come on Monday Night Raw. So
awesome!
It's gonna happen at some point, but I don't know when.
All right, from the shit that is Don West, we move on to the shit main event of the evening. It is Scott Hall taking on Jeff Jarrett in what I guess is a no disqualification stretcher match.
Had to be, yeah.
Yeah, and so Hall brings out a stretcher with him, and this match goes to shit off the top because Hall attacks Jeff Jarrett on the ramp. They fight into the crowd, and then we can't see them for about a good couple minutes. They can't get a good there's no cameras following them into the crowd. They're trying to shoot
that's right.
It looks like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. The production is shit.
No, it just looks like every time they're in the crowd, it's like, oh, no, there's like maybe 300 people here.
No,
yeah, good point. Yeah.
Like, it just makes the whole operation look small.
Okay, I agree with that 100%. TNA will do that for the next 15, up till now, they run tiny little venues. But what I'm saying,
especially when they have the concession stand in the background there.
But what really bothers me 100% is that this production is so low rent that they can't even get have a cameraman to. They obviously know that these guys.
Yeah.
That there's no way that they went into business. Like, they know this is pre-planned. He's going to attack them. They're going to fight in the crowd. So you prep a cameraman to follow them through the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where production is terrible for me. That there's no pre-planning to have a cameraman ready to follow them in the crowd. It just bothers me.
It's very indie. It's very I can see, like, if RCW had a night where they really had their shit together, they could put on a production as good as this. 100%.
Okay, but
way better than
I love
that.
Scott Hall's assault on Jeff Jarrett, but yeah, the production during it was pretty crappy.
But let's get back to this shit stain of a match, and these two fight, and I fucking hate it.
I kind of disagree. I think Scott Hall was in good shape here.
I think Scott Hall is over the hill at this point.
I mean, he comes in. Jeff Jarrett and Scott Hall are not going to come out there and be like, okay, we need to bust our fucking asses and put on a 5-star classic. Like, neither one of those guys, that's not their mindset for a fucking show in the middle of Tennessee in 2002. You know, like, no, they don't give a fuck. But as far as what Scott Hall does, like, he's actually pretty versatile. Like,
he is so
he hits some
fucking
pretty, like, the punches he hits though. When he hits his punches, I'm like, oh, no, his punches are legit. Like, Scott Hall looks good here. He does do the Razor's Edge in this match as well, which is also looks pretty on point. Like, yeah, you know, you're not getting a Ricochet Will Ospreay 5-star fucking acrobatic classic out of this, but it's fine for what it is.
No, it is not fine. This is one man who is probably 2 years past where he should be working main event matches, who should be in a tag team at best right now, who can't move around a ring even closer at the speed he could 10 years before. Scott Hall is so. Jeff Jarrett has never been a decent worker in his fucking career. I have never enjoyed a single Jeff Jarrett match up until this Royal Rumble where he took a ladder to the head, a guitar to the head, and got tossed the fuck over to the top. There is nothing about this entire fucking match. I hate both. Like, Scott Hall, don't get me wrong, his charisma is still on point, but you can tell how much he has slowed down. He can't do half the shit he used to. His Razor's Edge looks okay, and his punches are slow. His kicks are slow. Everything is slow from this guy. I can't.
You know who he is, but you don't know why.
It's supposed to be slow, though. Like, you're supposed to be able to digest it.
I watched Scott Hall. You watch Scott Hall from anything in the early 90s up to 1997. His shit is crisp. His shit is fast. His shit is good. It's the fact that he's a fucking drunk at this point.
Champion, no doubt about it. One of the greatest I've ever seen.
He's a drunk at this point. He is over the hill at this point. He should not be in a wrestling ring in a singles main event capacity.
Not in the main event.
I mean, but what do you got? What else you got to offer in TNA? Like, you got Brian Lawler? Like,
I'm saying, oh no, I agree with what you're saying here, Kyle. He is their main event player, but that's why I think this is a shit stain of a main event.
Steamboat could have done a better job.
yeah, no, it definitely wasn't a 5-star classic. There's no doubt about it.
Star shit.
And
talk.
Jeff Jarrett, I'll be honest with you. Jeff Jarrett's never lit my world on fire. But yeah, no, he's never been like a great guy. Like you were like, oh, do you remember that fucking awesome Jeff Jarrett match? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
stories maybe, matches.
I don't know. I just, for me, putting these two together really fucks it up. Like,
I think Jeff Jarrett versus AJ Styles was a great match at one point. Jeff Jarrett versus Kurt Angle was probably a really good match. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
But, like, Danimal, was it 2 or 3 weeks ago, Hall faced Lawler, right?
And you said he was terribly slow then, too.
He was slow, but I didn't mind the match as much because you had a guy who is still a competent worker in Lawler working around.
He's a competent worker, but he's not a competent main eventer.
Jarrett is not a competent worker. Yeah. He is not. I don't consider him.
Oh no, I would put Jeff Jarrett above Brian Christopher any day of the week.
Fucking way. No fucking way.
100%.
I call this a match. I think it was more of a brawl. They could have done it backstage.
Brian Lawler versus Jeff Jarrett. Like, Jeff Jarrett's kicking his ass.
Well, we're gonna have to disagree on that, but
I 100%. Okay, that's fine. We can disagree. But Jeff Jarrett has ring psychology, and Brian Lawler is fucking like.
Brian Lawler.
Brian Lawler he knows like 6 moves, and he knows how to put them together in such a way that his match is gonna come off across as entertaining.
Okay, Jarrett. Jarrett, a punch, a kick, a figure 4, and
Jeff Jarrett's the same situation, but he's got like 8 moves instead of 5.
Jarrett doesn't have a repertoire. He has a punch, kick, a Russian leg sweep, his figure 4 that he stole from Flair, and the stroke. That is his entire fucking arsenal. I can't praise Jarrett in a single bit. I can't. I'm sorry. Like he
does a good hip toss too, even when he's drunk.
I will never be able to praise Jeff Jarrett for many reasons, because I have never liked him ever in my life. The only one time I ever liked him was him getting hit over the head by Elias.
Yeah, by Elias.
The only time I've ever enjoyed a Jeff Jarrett match.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing him come out there and get beat up and thrown over the top.
It was cool to see him in the Royal Rumble.
But in the end, Jeff Jarrett hits Scott Hall with the chair, or goes hit him with the chair. He's taken away.
Steamboat grabs it and won't let him use it.
Steamboat grabs the chair from Hall. Jarrett strokes Hall into the chair, and it's over. And in about 20 seconds,
everybody comes out.
No. In the end, like in 20 seconds, Jeff Jarrett grabs the stretcher, throws it in the ring, and they cut the freaking pay-per-view off.
Yeah, they put him on the stretcher. That was it. They barely even got a chance to put him on the stretcher.
Oh, you guys didn't see then. I got a version where fucking John Harris comes out and a bunch of other guys come out and they have a big old brawl.
Yeah, that's post pay-per-view. That was on a feature. Like, I have the actual pay-per-view copies. There's the home video release. There's the video releases that a bunch of these pay-per-views did that have extra shit that was recorded after.
But I do remember at the end of this Scott Hall Jeff Jarrett match, there was like a big locker room clearing brawl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, news to us, because like the pay-per-view copy, maybe because it was Fight Network's version, they don't have to worry about the time constraint to it. But the pay-per-view cut off, like their pay-per-view window, cut off just after he put Scott Hall on the stretcher.
Yeah, barely chance to put him on. So we gotta go. And that was it.
No, literally, I remember Don Harris specifically came out and started beating somebody up.
Yeah, that they don't get me wrong, they can keep recording footage afterwards, But yeah, that's the pay-per-view cut off for us at Scott Hall on the stretcher.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe I got some other version or something, but...
No, but remember, this is the Fight Network releases were, because Fight Network didn't come around till late 2004, early 2005. So all these were in post. So they're getting because they partnered with TNA to show their stuff.
Yeah.
And they were probably giving them stock footage, which had the further recording.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was a little worried about it. I was like, oh, I hope that Andre and Danimal have the same video footage that I'm seeing, because I don't want to see something with like dubbed in music or like something that's like, wait, you totally watched the wrong thing, Kyle. But yeah, no, I mean, obviously from what we watched, I watched the same show. But like as I say, at the end of this show, I remember there being like Dom West and Mike Tenay were like, oh, holy shit, like look at all the people fighting tonight. Like, you gotta tune in next week to find out what's gonna happen. And I was totally like, oh, wish I had downloaded the next week as well, because it looks like it would have been a good show.
Yeah, I saw none of that. Wow. Alrighty then. So overall, Danimal, your enjoyment on this show?
I like the storytelling a little bit, but the wrestling was mostly bad, except for I thought only the low-key match was really that good. I like the brutality.
It's too fast.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They don't let it breathe a lot. They do go from one thing to the other. But then the WWE lags everything behind and drags it out too much. So, I mean, there's got to be a happy medium somewhere. But yeah, no, it wasn't terrible. It's better than some of the ones we've seen, but it's certainly nowhere near as good as the one we're going to get for next week.
Yeah. Kyle, your overall thoughts on this show?
Like I say, I agree with Danimal. There was a couple of good matches on here. AJ Styles versus Elix Skipper was really good. So was Loki versus Jerry Lynn. Those are both top-notch matches. Well, I will say that they both were going really, really fast. And that's just something I learned as someone who's training to wrestle. Like, when you think you're going too slow down a little bit, and you're just going a little bit too fast. Like, that's something that's been really drilled into me. So, like, I've noticed this show, like, even in Malice versus Apollo, which is two heavyweight bruisers, I'm like, boys, just fucking take a breather here. Like, relax a little bit.
That's the thing about Malice, though. He never stops. So when he takes a suplex, when he gets tossed through a table, and then a guy pulls him down, and he's immediately running back into the ring.
No sell whatsoever.
No, that's moving too quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, my overall thoughts, I enjoyed, like you guys said, AJ Styles and Skipper, Low-Key and Lynn, but the rest of it, I just was like,
and even Low-Key and Lynn and Styles and Skipper, they were going really fast. Skipper,
but what makes me happy about this show,
Skipper does not light my fucking world on fire. I'll be honest with you.
Really well.
Like, AJ Styles, legit, like, this day and age, I believe he's a WWE champion by now. But if Elix Skipper came into the WWE at this point, it would be like, oh, maybe he's once held the 205 championship once. Maybe.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
Like, but this show did make me look forward to what's coming next week. You have Ron the Truth Killing going for the NWA title. You have the triple threat of AJ Styles versus Jerry Lynn versus Low-Key. And I look forward to both of those. Because as we get to the end of this show, Kyle, plug away, buddy. Plug away everything you need to plug.
Okay, Monday Night Shaw airs every second Monday. Last Monday, I had Ref Dougie on.
Dougie!
Ref Dougie is a ordained minister in the Church of Dudism. Next week's episode that is going to be airing on Backbreaker Media Network through Boom Calm Sports is going to be a sit-down interview with me, Dirty Mike Jones, the first ever, actually, he's not the first ever two-time guest on Monday Night Shaw. Andre, that distinguishing goes to you.
Yeah!
However, Dirty Mike Jones did record with me twice before you did, so this episode's been in the can for a little while, but it's me, Dirty Mike Jones, Cody Chimera, and Cameron Stevens, and that is going to be the next episode of Monday Night Shaw. My Twitter is Monday Night Shaw.
And don't forget, like as I was saying, because this show comes on the 5th, so come out to RCW if you're in Calgary this Friday, February 8th, at the RCW Legion number 1.
Yes, I'm very looking forward to this show.
And then if you're in Edmonton, February 9th at the St. John's Cultural Center, and man, these are going to be two kick-ass shows.
Yes, no, it's going to be awesome. Also, if you haven't heard, RCW and CWC have joined forces now. RCW is going to be taking over in Red Deer.
And we'll get the dates are in April, right?
Yes, April the 13th.
All right, Danimal, give us your plugs, buddy.
You betcha. You can follow me at Daniel Jobber, capital D, capital J on Twitter. On Instagram, I'm Daniel Jobber, all lowercase letters. I do lots of fun stuff on Instagram, and I talk about WWE and all kinds of wrestling stuff. My website, my pride and joy, DanimalDanielJobber.ca, where you can go to see Jobber Craziness, and also there's a link to the Jobber Championship.
What does Jobber Craziness entail?
Jobber Craziness? I do lots of videos of me just goofing off and doing wrestling promos and making fun of wrestlers through promos and that sort of thing. I've done all kinds of stuff.
That sounds like a hell of a good time, actually.
It is. I love doing impressions like,
you just do
runs wild on you, brother.
You just start cutting promos and stuff like for improv sake.
Yeah, I love doing that. I've always loved.
Hey man, it's a good idea. Like.
But anyways, yes, on DanimalDanielJobber.ca, I also have a link to the Jobber Champion merchandise, which is on whatamaneuver.net, where all the other Backbreaker Media merchandise is as well. We got shirts and hoodies and all kind of things, baby onesies, stuff for all sexes and ages. You got to check it out and get some of the fabulous merchandise for the great Backbreaker Media content you enjoy, including my personal favorite, the Daniel Jobber Champion belt merchandise. And, then that's all I got for you. You follow me, Canada guy?
Oh, yeah. And you can find me on Twitter at that Canada guy, on Instagram at that Canada dude. Check out Backbreaker Media on Twitter at Backbreaker Media, because we don't need the A, because we're Canadian enough. And don't forget to check out the VOD page, backbreakervod.pivotshare.com. We are a proud member of Win Column Sports. And ladies and both these gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this show.
Hey, no problem, bud.
You betcha, man. Always a pleasure. Man, great to be here. Daniel Jobber here as always. Jobber out.
And Kyle, I hope to be your first third time guest on your show, hopefully soon.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
I don't know what for, but because we've talked about everything.
I mean, there's some good stuff coming up. I mean, you actually announced in Redway, didn't you, recently?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, there's a reason I wasn't at that show, and sooner or later we're gonna have to talk about that on the podcast.
Didn't the goose stab your tires to make sure you couldn't make it?
Something like that. That fucking son of a bitch. I did catch up with him. Did you catch the latest episode of the Archer Report?
Not yet.
Okay, well, episode 49 is the hunt for the Canadian goose. I actually did catch up with him. Take a look at it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to Total Nonstop Anarchy, and join me and the Danimal next week inside the Asylum. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Dun 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 na 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 na. This is for you, Mike. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. This is for you, Mike. Do
Blue Pants version. Da, 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 da.